Okay, hello, welcome to Cooking on the Ridge. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Today we're going to be making a recipe out of my own personal cookbook, which has some recipes from the rest of my family as well. It's called Bone Family Recipes. Looks like that. And today we're going to be making a dish called risotto with Parmesan and white truffle oil. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, to start off, we're going to turn our skillet on and use a deep skillet with I've already put some olive oil in it, and we're going to be sauteing some onions and then adding in our uh, rice. Now I'm using a rice called cannaroli. It's an Italian rice, and you can it's hard to find. You can use a rice called a borio. That's a little bit easier to find. Uh, so I would suggest you do that because it's tough to find the cannaroli rice, except from high-end specialty stores. But anyhow, so we'll let the oil heat up just a little bit, and then we'll put our onions in. Now for our onions, it calls for half of a medium onion. I'm actually using red onions, and mine are chopped kind of coarsely, but you can do it however you want to. You can chop them finer than that if you prefer to do that. So all we're going to do is just saute them for a little bit, let them get translucent. And in this other pot here, I have vegetable stock. And now the secret with risotto, the way I was taught in Italy, is you try to keep your broth just shy of boiling. You want it as hot as you can because we're going to toast the rice in with the onions, and when you add the rice in there, and then start adding the broth in on top of it to cook your rice through, you're going to want to make sure that the broth is almost to the same temperature as it's going to be inside this pan here to continue cooking without interruption. Otherwise, you kind of wind up with a mess. Your rice doesn't cook the way it's supposed to. Okay, so we have about a cup and a half of rice, and we have a half a cup of white. Our onions are starting to get to the right point here where we can add our rice in. Now you want to put your rice in and then let it go for about 2 to 3 minutes. What you're trying to do is just kind of gently toast the rice inside the pan there, and that will help it in the cooking process. So 2 to 3 minutes. You do this a couple of times, you kind of get used to the way it looks and everything, and you can sort of tell when it's at the right spot, if you will. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes. We're going to go ahead and add our half a cup of white wine. And we're just going to allow that white wine to cook down. That allows the rice to absorb all of the flavor of the wine. All right, so that's cooked down pretty good. We're going to go ahead and start ladling in our broth. And generally what I do is just get enough to completely cover the rice, move that around a little bit, And you just want to let that cook down as you go. Once it cooks down a little bit, you ladle in some more, and then some more and some more. The whole process should take about 25 minutes total. And as I said, as it cooks down a little bit, you just add more broth. I'm going to take about a cup of grated Parmesan cheese, and then we're going to take a couple of, actually first we're going to get a tablespoon of butter, roughly a tablespoon, and then we're going to get 2 tablespoons of our white truffle oil. Now, white truffle oil is not the easiest thing in the world to find. It is a specialty item, but believe me, it's well worth it. And you can always order it online. Um, it's not a problem to get it online. It's not cheap. So you just want to keep the risotto cooking. Just keep it at a boil as you go. And like I said, just continue adding in the broth. And as it cooks, the rice will unleash. It's making the sauce kind of creamy. So, like I said, the secret to great risotto, whether it's this risotto or any other risotto, is keeping that broth, right at boiling, not quite there, but right at, so that when you add it to the skillet, it doesn't slow down the rice from cooking at all. It just keeps on going. And that's what makes a truly great risotto. So, we talk about Pampered Chef a lot on this channel, and these 2 pots that you see here are both made by Pampered Chef. Now, these are the older series of nonstick that goes back about 12 years, which is how long I've actually had these pans. And they still are just as good today as they were at the very start. You see just a little bit of finish coming off right around the edge there, but that doesn't hurt anything. That's not part of where you cook at anyhow. So they really, really hold up well. The replacement line for these is what they call a brilliant set. They made some improvements to them. The color is different. Really, just a beautiful, beautiful pan. But this is what the current version of this series of pans. All right, looking pretty good here. Now, I prefer to use a vegetable broth with this recipe simply because it's not based on any kind of meat. So, but chicken broth also works great with it. Wouldn't use beef stock or beef broth. I wouldn't think that would be very good, but you could. Um, but I'd say chicken stock. If you don't have vegetable stock, go with vegetable stock. If you do, Okay, as you noticed there, I went ahead and put the rest of the stock into the skillet and let it cook all the way down. It's getting harder and harder to ladle it out. So again, as long as you don't stop the boiling process, it ain't gonna hurt it any at all. And it's still just boiling away. So we're in good shape. So at this point, we're just waiting for the rice to cook all the way down. Once it cooks all the way down, we will add the Parmesan, truffle oil, and butter mixture to the pan and stir that in completely, and then it is ready to serve right away. That's one thing you don't want to wait on is when risotto's done, it's ready to serve. People need to be ready to eat. Okay. So if you're interested in obtaining a copy of my cookbook, uh, just put your information in the comments, and I will give you instructions on how to obtain a copy. They're $25, so just contact me. There's 93 recipes. They are a variety of different types. There's 9 appetizers, beverages, 15 on bread and muffins, 23 soups, stews, salads, and sauces, 33 main courses, which is beef, pork, and lamb, and then 47 main courses, which are seafood, poultry, pasta, and casseroles. And then there's 57 vegetables and vegetarian dishes, and 65 desserts, pies, and cookies, 77 miscellaneous recipes, and a total, like I said, a total of 83. There's even a recipe in here for lye soap that was my grandmother's recipe. So, it's kind of neat. Want a copy? Let me know. Okay, we are almost to the point of adding our final ingredients in and getting ready to serve this to the family. So as you can see, it gets quite creamy. And it's almost cooked down. We're going to go ahead and add in our last ingredients here. Mix that in well. It imparts its flavor profile as well. Oops. A little sloppy on the end here. Okay, we can turn that off now. All right. So there we have it. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could garnish this with some parsley flakes or something like that, just to make it a little bit prettier. But doesn't change the flavor profile any. But delicious, and we'll be serving that up here at home shortly. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. If you liked what you saw here, just give me a thumbs up. If you would like to subscribe to the channel, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. And last but not least, you can ring the notification bell, and that will let you know each time I upload a new video. So thanks again, and so long from Cooking on the Ridge.